Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video I'm going to go through my team selection for game week 12. I'm going to talk about captaincies, transfers and who makes my starting 11, as well as me possibly benching the most expensive player in the game. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, give it a like, don't forget to subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. So here was the pain of game week 11. I had 26 points, not many highs to really think or talk about. Captain Haaland could have gone a lot worse, I think, if Salah had done really well against Luton. So it was a bit painful having to watch that game. No one on the bench performed, so I suppose I didn't get that decision wrong either. And the likes of Villa blanking didn't help when you got three players. Bowen was about the only high point, if you want to call it that, for the week. He scored his goal for the 6th away game running. That's pretty impressive. And Adingra, he's a real differential, but he has yet to fire in the Premier League. At least he seems to be doing pretty well in the in Europe at the moment. But Gay, he got me a clean sheet. That was all right, but even that was kind of masked a little bit by the fact that Mitchell got 15 points. But hey ho, these things happen. Tsimikas bench, came on, got 1 point. Didn't really hurt me too much, but very frustrating that he only made the bench and Turner dropped. So I'm stuck with Areola, but I don't think that's a huge issue moving forward. And obviously Cash was a bit of an injury concern, but since we have had a bit of news, so that is not all bad. So my rank actually gone down by 100,000. It went up by about 400k when I wildcarded, so I've gone now just outside the top million. When considering I had 26 points, I think that could have been a heck of a lot worse. I've got 0.9 million in the bank. I got one free transfer. My transfer last week was to bring in Ketia in, simply not to play him, but for these fixtures coming up and just gain or sort of get onto him before the price rise. And that's worked out pretty well. I've saved myself 0.2 million, and that's purely for this game. But we've obviously had injury news that possibly he'll miss out, so that's frustrating. But I was able to make that transfer early just because I didn't think there's going to be any transfers I needed to make for game week 12. So, going through my side and how it lines up, I've got Areola in goal at home to Forest. I think that looks pretty straightforward. Tsimikas, he was dropped for Luton game. Hopefully that's just because of his physical presence that Gomez got the nod. Was kind of encouraging, I think, that Gomez played in Europe for 90 minutes. Tsimikas came off at half time. Whether that was tactical or not, I don't know. I'm liking to think that that's just because he's going to get a rest and then he's going to be fresh for the weekend. Cash on the bench in Europe as well, that's fine. I'm happy with that, which means he is fit and available and should therefore play against Fulham. Don't see any issues with that. And Gabriel has played every game since he was rested for the Sheffield United game, so hopefully he will keep his place for Burnley at home. And if all things being well, those are three good fixtures. Across the midfield, Adingra will keep his place for Sheffield United. I don't see why he will drop out. Did play 90 minutes, goal and assist in Ajax. Salah at home to Brentford, no issues there. Bowen will play. Saka is a bit of a concern. Got to wait for another update from Arteta about that, but my gut feeling is that he should be all right. A lot of times in the past, he has seemed to have picked up a knock and just continues to play. And even Arteta mentioned that after the game, that he's going to have to be used to that and for the rest of his career, picking up knocks. I think he drew 4 fouls in about the first 30 minutes in the Champions League game. And then Diaby at home to Fulham didn't really set the world on light against Forest last week, but did have a good week beforehand. So don't see any reasons why he won't be in, and I'm happy to keep him for the fixture run they got for the short term. And up front, Nketiah, if he is fit, I think he has to be in my side for Burnley at home. And so is Ollie Watkins for Fulham, which means this is pretty controversial. And I think every person I've spoken to thinks I'm a little bit mad for doing it. Is that Haaland is on the bench. Now I have to sort of reassure myself that he's playing away at Chelsea, which I do not think is an easy fixture. Ignoring the crazy game against Tottenham, which was 4-1, I don't really think we can take a lot of that into account, given they were down to 10 then 9 men. But Chelsea's defence is pretty decent. They're the 4th best in the division in terms of expected goals conceded. But I do notice when I've broken those figures down, they are actually the 9th best when it comes to home, and Man City have the best expected goals away. So that is maybe me looking at it with rose-tinted glasses and saying that Chelsea's defence are really good. Maybe I'm flattering myself and talking myself into putting Haaland on the bench. It is a lot of money I have to have him on the bench. And I don't want to sell him. A, there's not many places I think I can go where I'm going to improve this side looking at the first 11. And B, I'm going to want him back definitely for game week 16. The fixtures aren't great for the next few weeks for Man City, they've got Tottenham, and they've got Liverpool. But in game week 16, Luton is the start of a decent run. Plus, they possibly will have that, well, should have that double in game week 20. So I'm definitely going to want Haaland there. So I don't really feel like I want to move him out, because I'm just going to, if I'm going to distribute those funds, it's going to make it very difficult for me to move him back in. And it just seems like a really waste of a transfer move him out to simply move him back in. So it is going to be him on the bench. I suspect and almost partly want Saka or Nketiah not to be fit, so he comes in, because I know how much he can hurt me. But I'm looking at the rest of that 11, and I'm not sure who else I'm going to take out. Possibly Watkins at home to Fulham. I just think Adingro's so attacking. His underlying stats look decent. At home to Sheffield United, it's just too good to be true. Diaby is a midfielder, and I still will back him. Can't take any of those defenders out because I'm only playing 3. Bowen can't bring him out, and Salah, I don't think I could not play either. And Nketiah at home to Burnley, given what he did to Sheffield United, it looks really good as well. So possibly I could put Paul on the bench. I could decide, do I bring in Nketiah out? But the whole reason I brought Nketiah in was for this fixture run, and this is a great fixture. If he starts, I'm pretty confident he gets a goal. Almost to the extent where I think he's more likely to get to goal if he starts than Haaland. But the worry is he doesn't start and he comes on for a cameo appearance, and then that just blocks Haaland out of it. I don't think the same would be the same as Saka. I think he either starts or he doesn't play at all. And then obviously Haaland comes in. So I could be bailed out either way, but it feels wrong. I mean, even the fact that I'm talking about the fact that being bailed out by Haaland coming on is maybe telling me that I need to play him. Captaincy, I think I have to go Haaland. Even if I play I have to go Salah rather at home to Brentford. Even if I play Haaland or Haaland plays, I'm not captaining him over Salah. I think Salah's the better option at home. Don't think Chelsea have been brilliant this year, but defensively I still think they're pretty good. And I don't think that's going to be a high-scoring game. That's my gut feeling. I could be completely wrong. And Haaland's been playing well recently, obviously on pens. It is always dangerous not playing him. I know a lot of other teams have gone without him. Having the money on the bench doesn't worry me too much, and that first 11 looks really good. That is the plan. Updates from Arteta about Nketiah and Saka may persuade me to go to Haaland. If Saka's 50-50, I think I'd still play him in that starting 11, because I don't think he's likely to just come off the bench or either start or nothing at all. If Nketiah is suggested that he's not available, then yeah, I'm going to bring Haaland in instead of him. After that, in game week 13, I've got Salah against Haaland. Again, I'm looking at benching Haaland again for that one. That may change, but I will have to use my transfer. So if I roll it for this week, I'll have to use it for this week. And it's not anywhere I'm looking at potentially to go. I could come off of Cash or Diaby, but they got a good week fixture away at Bournemouth the following week. So that may be not a place I want to take them away. But then I've also got to look at later on, there's Mbuemo that I might want to go to, or Cole Palmer to save me money. So 13, I will have to use a transfer, but I'm not likely to want to take any of those Tsimikas or Salah or Haaland out, just because their fixtures are so good longer term. But who knows what's going to happen? There may be an injury to some other player, and I will be forced to make a substitution. But it's a nice place to be that if I get to 13, I'm not sure what to do with my free transfer. That's it for this one then, guys. Let me know what your transfer plans are for game week 12. Do you think I'm crazy for even considering benching Haaland? And who's your captaincy armband on? We'll come back at you next week with watch list, team selection videos, all that good stuff. So if I don't speak to you beforehand, have a great game week 12, and I shall see you on the other side.